Hi, I'm Kim Coco. Today we're going to do a gentle level yoga practice, working to open the front side of the body, the pecs, the subscapularis, which will counteract a lot of our forward movements during the day, whether that's driving a car, working on our computers, carrying kids. So this will help alleviate some of that forward movement, opening up the front side of the body, and then giving the muscles on the back a bit of a rest, which can often get tense and tight from overworking to counteract all of that forward hunching movement. So if you have a block, great. If you have a strap, great. A tie or a belt will work as well, and then maybe a blanket or a beach towel. So today I'll have you get started you can set the block and the strap aside. We're going to go ahead and take your blanket or a beach towel, and we're going to go ahead and create a light roll to start. So start on one end and maybe make a roll that's about 2 to 3 inches in height. And then we'll actually take the roll to the edge of your mat or parallel to the upper edge of your mat. And we'll use that as a way to open up the back of the heart first. Now, if you get into this and you notice it's too intense, by all means, lie on your back without any kind of roll, or you can come out of it and make the roll a little bit smaller, or if you notice it's not deep enough, you can always make it bigger. So options are endless. So once you have your roll, you're going to take the roll just beneath your arm bones and allow the roll to rest right at the back of the heart. And you can take the arms out at a T position, and your throat will naturally open as your head lies back. And then you can take the soles of the feet to the wide edge of your mat, allowing the knees to drop together. You can take the soles of the feet together and allow the knees to drop out to the side for Supta Baddha Konasana. Find a position that's going to feel good to start. You can even start with your legs in a regular Shavasana if that's okay on your low back. But find a position that's going to work for you to start. And once you're there, see if you can allow the back side of the body to get heavier. Notice the backs of the shoulder blades touching the floor. Allow the arm bones to rest heavy on the ground. And notice even the length along your spine, allowing the hips to rest heavy towards your mat. And then as you're there, notice the rhythm of your breath as you start your practice today. And without changing the rhythm of your breath, be a curious observer. How long does it take for the breath to come in? How long does it take for the breath to go back out? And then as you watch that rhythm without any judgment or need to make changes, we'll use the term viveka, which means discernment in Sanskrit. And discernment is really that ability for us to know what actions or choices are going to help us on our path, or what choices and actions are going to detract from it, what's going to add or align with our purpose, and what might take us away from that. So as you observe the rhythm of your breath, can you allow your body to sink down into a place where it's more comfortable? Can you allow the heart to naturally lift and open? And notice the space in which the heart can add to a sense of discernment, that inner knowing of what's going to be in your best and highest good. And then using that mental focus, start to engage your breath a little bit deeper. Notice the breath expand to the back of the rib cage and press into the floor or your blanket. With every exhale, still feel the spine getting heavier. With The inhale, expand the breath laterally to the sides of the rib cage. With every exhale, feeling the backs of the shoulders drop down. And then use that inner discernment to find a rhythm of breath that you can sustain throughout your practice, where you don't have to force the breath, but there's still a conscious level of control. Maybe finding a rhythm where you can match the length of the breath in with the length of the breath out. And then see if you can follow that rhythm of breath for the next minute or so, using this as the first stretch of your practice. Keep the tongue soft in your mouth and your eyes soft in your eye sockets. Imagining even the skin on your forehead relaxing. In this moment of stillness, set an intention for your practice. Maybe it's something physically you want to shift. Maybe there's an area of your light in which you seek to add more discernment. Or maybe it's a particular choice in which you need to make a decision, and maybe you want some clarity. Using the time on your mat here to cultivate the space in which answers can arrive. And then with that intention, fill up your breath, gather as much inhale as you can, and pause at the top. As you exhale, do so through the nose or the mouth. Second time, fill up, deep breath in. Pausing at the top. Exhale the breath out. Third time, inhale. And when you pause at the top, soften down a little bit more. Maybe even fill up a little bit below the collarbones as you sip in a little more air. Again, exhaling through the nose or the mouth. Maybe stretching the arms up overhead. And then as you exhale, go ahead and slowly roll yourself off of your roll if you have one. And then come onto your back and pause in Shavasana for just a moment. So checking in with how your body feels, noticing the difference in sensation after just having a slight aid or a slight prop underneath your back. And even if you're just lying on your back and you've been there the whole time, notice the sensation specifically at the back of the heart, the back of the shoulder blades as they drop towards the floor. And maybe even a broadness across the front collarbones as the front of the shoulder drops towards the floor. And then once again, when you're ready, stretch your arms up overhead as if you're waking up all over again. Reach out through the feet, spread the fingers and the toes. As you exhale, go ahead and roll onto your left side. And you can use your blanket if you have it, and you can place it as a prop underneath your head and take your arm out to the side, your left arm out at shoulder height, or you can bend the elbow and use it as a pillow. And then go ahead and bend your knees so you're comfortable. The block can also be placed between your knees. And then we'll take your right arm up towards the ceiling, and then start by slowly imagining this arm reaching towards the ceiling as if it was at the dead center of a clock or the dead center of a circle. And then start to make some gentle circles in space around that imaginary point on the ceiling. And they don't have to be too big to start, just starting to lubricate the joint of the shoulder. And then go ahead and switch directions. Again, imagining a very symmetrical circle as if you were drawing on the wall or the ceiling. And then bring your arm back up vertical. Turn your palm overhead as if you're going to reach towards the top of your mat. and stretch the arm up and over, maybe allowing your left or your right bicep to drop towards your ear as you stretch and lengthen the right side of the body. And then we'll move that dynamically. So as you inhale, stretch the arm back up. As you exhale, reach up and over. Inhale, reaching up, keeping the right shoulder blade drawing the back, down your back. Exhaling, reach up and over. This time as you inhale, stretch the arm up. As you exhale, reach up and over, and then maybe start to take this into a wider circle as you slowly start to draw the hand down towards your hip, using your inhale, sweeping that right arm up overhead, exhaling it, drawing back. Slowly starting to maybe rock off of your left side, opening up the chest towards the ceiling. Just taking a nice gentle approach to a bigger circle with the shoulder. Go ahead and take one more round here. And then the next time your arm comes overhead, pause, reach the right arm straight up towards the ceiling again, draw the right shoulder blade towards the spine. Maybe start to shift your torso off of your left side and onto the left shoulder blade, and take your right arm out to the side for a gentle spinal twist. Again, if your right shoulder is far from the floor, you can always take a block and place it underneath your knees, or if there's space between your knees, you can place a block between both legs. But otherwise, allow the right shoulder to drop towards the floor, arms out at a T position, and let the back of your head and neck drop down. Again, finding a nice even rhythm of breath that you started with. Sending the breath to the sides of the rib cage and feeling a broadening across the front side of the body at the clavicles, your collarbones. Take two more cycles of breath, that rhythm even and as deep as you can comfortably. After your next exhale, draw your legs back in towards your chest. Maybe hug the knees in for a moment. Maybe rock a little side to side. Maybe make some circles with the knees in the air as you start to massage out the low back. Maybe take some circles in the opposite direction. And then as you come onto your back, go ahead and take the ankles in some circles. You can go together with the feet or in opposite directions, but do make sure you switch. And wake up the toes, maybe wiggle the toes out a little bit. And then when you're ready, go ahead and roll over onto your right side. Again, right arm can be a pillow, right side body resting on the floor. Once you're there, my mic out of the way. Start by taking the left arm up towards the ceiling and imagine that vertical arm reaching up to the center of a circle, and then go ahead and make a few gentle, small, symmetrical circles on the ceiling with the arm as you gently lubricate the shoulder. And notice if you've started to hold your breath with even such simple movements. Switch the direction of that circle. Let's see if you're going to allow as much of the rest of your body to be as comfortable and relaxed as possible. And then as you inhale, take your arms straight back up towards the ceiling. Turn the palm towards the head of your mat. As you exhale, reach that arm straight up overhead, allowing the left bicep to come over your ear. Use your inhale to stretch the arm all the way back up towards the ceiling. As you exhale, reach up overhead. So try to get a little bit of a side stretch as well. 2 more times, moving with your breath. Keep your left hip moving away from your left side rib cage. The next time your arm does come all the way up overhead, start to spin your arm back behind you as if you're going to make giant circles on the ceiling. Maybe roll your torso towards the ceiling as you do so. Hand comes down across the front of your body, reaching back up overhead. starting to make even larger circles. Again, torso might start to reach or point towards the ceiling as you move, but keep the left shoulder hugging into the socket, left upper arm bone drawing down and in to protect the shoulder, and imagine reaching out through the fingers so there's energy engagement all the way out through your hand. The next time your arm comes all the way up over your head, stretch the arm back up towards the thing, palm facing the side of your mat. Draw the left shoulder blade towards your spine, and then allow your left arm to drop all the way out at shoulder height. Again, you can come more off of your right side and onto the right back of the arm, back of the upper body, allowing your knees to drop to the right and your left shoulder blade to drop towards the floor. And notice if you can feel some weight dropping down along the back sides of the shoulders, the front of the chest wide open. Again, sending the breath all the way to the sides of the rib cage. And find as much of a sense of ease as you can, even though the breath is working a bit here. Take 2 more rounds of breath. As deep and comfortable as you can. After your next exhale, this time go ahead and take your left arm, bring it all the way back up over your body. Press it into the floor and go ahead and make your way up to a seat. Now you have a couple different options. Once you get up to your seat, you can unroll your blanket and use it to sit on. And you can sit in Sukhasana, an easy cross-legged pose, where your ankles or your feet are lightly flexed, ankles under the knees. And if that's too much on your knees, either leg in front, it doesn't matter, then you can always bend the knees and place the soles of the feet on the floor. You're going to get the same benefit because we're going to work more on the spine, first. So, whichever comfortable seat, legs bent or legs crossed, allow the shoulders to drop down, your sitting bones to drop evenly towards the floor, maybe even rock a little side to side to find that. Allow the shoulders to drop away from your ears. But notice again the length all the way up the side body. Imagine even breathing up to your armpits into the lymphatic system. The lymph nodes right there under the armpits. And then we'll keep that space with the breath going as we move with the breath. So let's inhale, reach your left arm up towards the ceiling, drop the shoulder down, and as you exhale, reach up and over to your right. But keep the left sitting bone glued down, feel the left shoulder drop away from the ears, maybe even let the right shoulder drop lightly towards the floor, and allow the right elbow to draw in towards the body. As you inhale again, come back up to center. Exhale, lower the left arm down. Inhale, palm turns up on the right arm as you reach up. Exhale, drop the right shoulder away from the ear and reach up and over to your left. Again, left elbow in, right sitting bone down, and reach evenly out through both sides of the body as you stretch to your side. Again, inhaling, come back to center. Exhaling, lowering back down. So now we're going to move with the breath a little bit further. Inhale, left arm up. As you exhale, reach up and over to the left, and this time as you exhale, fold forward slightly. Walk your right arm across your body as you inhale, sweep it up and over to the left, and come back up. Exhale, lower back down. So a little coordination here. Inhaling, right arm lifts. As you exhale, take a side stretch over to the left, and as you finish the exhale, start to fold a little forward. Take the left arm, sweep it across the body as you inhale. As you exhale, left arm lowers. So going back and forth 2 more times. Inhale, left arm lifts. Exhale, reach to the right and fold forward a lot or a little. Use your inhale, right arm sweeps across the body like you're making a big circle. Exhale, right arm down. Inhale, right arm lifts. Right shoulder away from the ear as you exhale, side stretch and fold. Inhale, left arm sweeps across the body. Exhale, lower back down. One more time each side. Inhale, left arm lifts. Exhale, reach up and over and fold. Right arm across, inhaling, coming to lift. Exhale, lower back down. Last side, right arm lifts. Exhale, side stretch, and then fold. Inhale, left arm sweeps across the body, spine tall. Exhale, lower back down. If you had your legs crossed, we're going to go ahead and bring them hip distance apart and go ahead and slowly rock the knees a little side to side with the hands behind you to offer some stability. And then if you had your legs bent, you can stay there, or if you had your legs crossed, take the opposite knee in front this time. Same. We just want to make it even. So feet on the ground, knees bent, fine. Legs crossed, opposite side. This time we'll start to take a twist. As you inhale, let's go ahead and take your left arm up again. As you exhale, take your left hand to your right knee, whether it's bent closer to the floor or away from the ground. Maybe the right hand sweeps behind you or stretches towards the floor behind you. As you inhale, take the left hand up. Soften the shoulder. As you exhale, start to twist back to the right, twisting with the belly button, the heart. Inhale, come back up. As you exhale, twist again. So broaden the heart, even though you start to twist and it might constrict the rib cage slightly. Exhale, twist and hold this time, allowing the left shoulder blade to push forward slightly as you press your arm into your leg, and then draw the right shoulder blade more towards your spine. And imagine the heart lifting so you can sit a little bit taller wherever you are. And then relax the shoulders down the back. As you inhale, let's reach both arms up towards the ceiling. Exhale, lower the arms back down. Left hand might sweep a little behind you. Inhale, take the right arm up, relax the shoulder. Exhale, right hand to the outside of your left knee. Inhale, right arm comes back up, unwind. Exhale, start to twist. Belly button to the left, rib cage to the left, heart to the left. Inhaling, unwind, reach up. Exhale to twist. Maybe going a little further every time, maybe just finding some space where you're at. Last time, reaching up. Exhale, go ahead and twist and hold this time, but see if you can press both sitting bones down, lift the torso up, and then draw the left shoulder blade more towards the spine as you start to broaden across the collarbone, even in your twist. And then your chin can stay just over the heart, or if it's comfortable on your head and neck, you might even twist and look over that left shoulder. Whatever feels good. Take one more full breath. And then use your inhale to unwind, reach both arms up. As you exhale, hands down by your side, unwind your legs, feet hip distance or a little bit wider, and then start to windshield wiper the knees, opening up the hips a little bit. And then from here, you can stay on your blanket if you want, but with the feet hip distance apart, we'll all take the hands back behind the body 6 to 8 inches, and then fingers point towards the hips if that feels comfortable. And then we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades back and together, and then we're going to imagine lifting the heart up. So starting to take a gentle back bend, opening up the front of the chest, sitting a little bit taller, even imagining a little bit of a back bend as you lift here. And then as you exhale, slowly unwind, and then take your hands to your knees, so you might, or your shins or knees, so you can sit up a little taller. So we're gonna take a few rounds of cat-cow in this position. As you inhale, similar to what we just did, we're gonna draw the elbows in by the side of the body and then lift the heart through the arms, draw the shoulder blades down the back, maybe gaze up. And then as you exhale, start to tuck and round the low back, round the spine, maybe tuck the chin, and straighten the arms. And then we'll move with the breath. As you inhale, rock the sitting bones forward, sit up tall, shoulder blades squeeze in, lift the heart. As you exhale, tuck the spine, round your vertebra, tuck the chin, and stretch the back side of the body. So move with your breath, inhaling up, elbows stay right in by the side of the body, exhaling, tucking and rounding. 2 more times, inhaling up, exhaling back down. And the next time you come to sit up tall, let's go and take your hands back behind you once again. You have the option of staying here and squeezing the elbows in towards one another. There's a magnet between your elbows. And then you press the floor away and start to lift the heart up. You can stay right here, and we're going to hold for about 3 rounds of breath. Or if you want to make it a little more challenging, you can press your feet into the floor and start to lift your hips and press your knees towards the front of the room. And then you keep the chin lightly tucked and press the floor away, and you're still drawing your heart center up through your hands. But see if you can soften your glutes, draw your heels towards your hips slightly, and then engage the core. If you're in an inverted tabletop position, if you want to stay here with hips on the ground, that's always an option. But take one more round of breath in. Exhale, slowly lower the hips if they were lowered back down. Go ahead and unwind. And then let's go ahead and press yourself up to stand this time. And then from here, you can shake out the shoulders. Notice already the sensations at the front of the chest, around the armpits, the arms. Your subscapularis is actually on the inside of your shoulder blade, and it comes around and it wraps, touches the front of your arm bone, and inner spirals your arm. So usually we use these muscles all the time, making them tight and short. So we're actually opening them up with some of this back bending we're doing. Okay, so what I'd like you to do next is grab your block. And we are going to go ahead and take this block, and we're going to start to create some awareness in the back of the shoulder blades. So what I'd like you to do here is go ahead and imagine, if you don't have a block, you can use your roll with your blankets, or even if you have an extra yoga mat, you might even roll up your yoga mat and place it against the wall. But ideally, if you have a block, that's going to be the easiest. We're going to take the block or the roll, and we're going to place it between the shoulder blades. And then what we're going to do is we're going to place that roll or the block on the wall between the shoulder blades, and then we're going to lean into that block. So we're going to bend the knees slightly. Allow the shoulders to drop away from the ears. And then as you inhale, squeeze the shoulder blades back as though you're going to squeeze the block behind you. That's retracting the shoulder blades, drawing them towards the spine. And then exhale, relax the shoulders. So we're going to do that 2 more times. Squeezing the block, opening up the front of the heart, exhaling, releasing. So you're actually engaging the back side of the body to squeeze that imaginary block or roll. And actually, let's do that 2 more times. Why not? 5 for good measure. Squeezing back. Exhaling, lowering back down. Again, inhale, squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Engage the back side of the body to open the front side of the body. Exhale, release, and just lean your weight into the block or your roll for a second. And then go ahead and stand up. Release your block or your roll. And then we'll go ahead and take a down dog on the wall. So if the edge of my mat was the wall, I'm going to allow my hands to rest on the wall, about shoulder height to start, and then I'm going to walk my feet back in space, draw my belly button up towards my spine, and press the wall away. And then maybe I can walk my feet a little further back in space. So start with wide fingers, shoulder distance apart. Maybe walk the feet back a foot, draw the rib cage in towards the spine, draw the belly button in towards the spine, spread the hands and press the wall away. Maybe walk the feet back a little further. Create some traction as your hips move towards the center of your room. Press the wall away. Imagine rolling your biceps up towards your ears, creating a little space between the head and neck as though the head and neck could soften slightly. Take another breath in and out. As you inhale, come back to center. Take out the shoulders again. So now we've created some awareness in the back side of the shoulder blades. We're going to use that to do some scapular push-ups. So what we're going to do is you're going to imagine you had that block or that roll between your shoulder blades. Only this time we're going to use the wall, and we're going to draw the shoulder blades back, and we're going to press the wall away. So kind of like what we did in our modified cat-cow with the knees bent. Same thing here, except the lower body is going to stay the same. So from here, imagine this wall. I'll face this way. This block was my wall, where the wall would be. I'm going to stand here with arms shoulder height. I'm going to spread the fingers wide. And now my hips are just over my feet and my shoulders are over my hips. So I'm in a nice tall line in Tadasana, essentially, except my arms are lightly flexed. So I'm going to press the wall away, and what I'm going to do first is I'm going to imagine squeezing that block between my shoulder blades. So I'm actually going to draw my heart center through my hands and draw my shoulders back in space. As I exhale, I'm going to press the wall away and round my upper back, but the lower body stays relatively the same. I'm going to inhale, draw the shoulder blades back, exhale, press the wall away and round. So the whole time my hands are on the wall, except I'm just moving my upper back. So hands on the wall, shoulder height, find your position, take a breath in, soften the shoulders down the back. Use your next inhale to draw your heart towards the wall, squeeze the shoulder blades back towards your spine, and then as you exhale, press the wall away, tuck and round the upper back so you're creating space between the shoulder blades, and the hands and arms stay straight. The whole time, arms straight, inhale, draw the heart center through, squeeze the shoulder blades back and together. Exhale, press the wall away, create space between the shoulder blades and the spine. Inhaling, heart through, squeeze the shoulder blades back. Exhale, press the wall away. All the while, feet are even and on the floor. Inhale, heart through. Exhale, press the wall away, tuck the tailbone, stand tall. Inhaling, heart through towards your hands, squeeze the shoulder blades back. Exhale, press the wall away and round. So one more time, inhaling, heart through. Exhale, press the wall away. And then you can stay here and shake out the shoulders, or if you want to walk the hands slightly down the wall, press the wall away, walk your feet into a modifying down dog again. Keep pressing the wall away, roll the shoulders away from the ears. Keep imagining length through the whole spine as though you're going to tuck the tailbone and reach your hips towards the center of the room. If you have a loved one that wants to gently tug your hips towards the center of the room, away from the wall, that's always a nice help, but not always necessary. Just imagine someone lengthening both sides of your body here. And then as you exhale, slowly release. Walk away from the wall, shake out the wrists, shake out the shoulders, whatever's going to feel good. And then we're going to go ahead and do a little bit of some twisting motion to take that retraction of the shoulder blades, opening the front side of the chest into some twists. So a little deeper than what we did on the floor. So again, I'm going to imagine this block is my wall. We're going to go ahead and keep both hands on the wall, and we're going to stand tall. As you inhale, I'm going to imagine if I had a bow and arrow, I'm going to grab that bow and pull it back as though my elbow is going to come in right by my side body, and twist my torso away from the wall, and elbow would come back towards the center of the wall, center of the room, maybe even look over that left shoulder. And then I'm going to inhale and come back to center. As I exhale, I'm going to take my right hand, elbow right in by the shoulder, draw the right shoulder blade towards the spine as I maybe twist to the right. Exhale back. Let's actually take an inhale here. Let's exhale, twist to your left, looking over that left shoulder blade back, inhaling back to center. As you exhale, go ahead and draw the right hand back. Inhaling, come back to center. So make sure you have room, make sure you had time to get to the wall. Inhaling, left arm back. Exhaling, forward. Switching the breath, inhaling, back. Exhaling, forward. So maybe 2 more times. Starting to twist maybe a little bit further each time. Starting to engage the back side of the body. Really focus on squeezing the shoulder blades back and together. This time your shoulders might be starting to get a little bit tired. As you exhale, release the hands. You can turn around away from the wall, bend the knees lightly. You can take your hands to your knees and let the head and neck drop slightly. Or if you want to fold more towards an Uttanasana, you can let your head and neck dangle, letting your whole shoulder blades drop towards the floor, letting everything rest down. Maybe even lightly shake your head no. Maybe lightly shake your head yes. Maybe even start to straighten the legs if you want more of a stretch for the hamstrings. But again, use your inner discernment here to find what is going to fuel your body, what's going to feed you, what's going to make you feel better after you're done, instead of just pushing through because you feel like you have to. Again, take about 3 more rounds of breath here. Imagining the contents of your brain dropping out of the top of your head to your yoga mat. All those things that clutter your ability to acknowledge and listen to that inner knowing. When you're ready to come out, bend your knees generously, slowly roll up 1 vertebrae at a time. Pause, leaning against your wall or standing up away from it in Tadasana. Letting yourself reorient to your normal upward position before we move on. So pause, notice again the space around the hips, the shoulders, the spine, the head. And then from here, make sure you have no props on your mat and grab your strap. So this time we're going to go ahead and we're going to take chair pose. And we're going to use your strap to help open up the front of the pecs. So we're going to actually take the strap behind your back and turn your palms forward and your thumbs out to the side. So the wider your arms are going to be, the easier it's going to be. The closer in your hands are to your body, the harder it's going to be. But the goal here is to, again, engage the back side of the body. We're going to squeeze the shoulder blades back and together and drop the shoulders away from the ears. And we're going to keep the feet about hip distance apart. As you inhale, we're going to stretch the arms back behind the body. They might come a lot or a little. As you exhale, lower back down. So just moving with your breath, inhaling to reach back, exhaling to lower down. So I'm inhaling, reaching back, exhaling to lower down. So this time we're going to add on a little bit. Feet still about hip distance apart. This time as you inhale, sit down into a chair pose as deep as you want to. So make sure you can glance down to your toes, tuck the tailbone under. As you inhale, reach the arms back behind you, lift the heart, squeeze the shoulder blades back and together. As you inhale, press to stand, straight legs. Exhale, lower the arms. Inhale, sit down to chair pose, tuck the tailbone, lift the heart. You'll exhale here. Then inhale, sweep the arms back. You'll exhale here. Use your inhale to stand. And exhale, lower the arms. So again, working the whole back side of the body. Inhaling, sit down to chair pose. Exhale here, tuck the tailbone, sit into your heels. Use your inhale to lift the arms straight back behind you, a lot or a little. Exhale here. Use your inhale, press to stand, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, lower down. One more time, sink the hips. Use your exhale, lengthen the spine, tuck the tailbone. Inhale, stretch the arms back. Exhale here, squeeze the shoulder blades together as you press into your feet, come to stand. Exhale, lower the arms, and release your strap for a moment and just pause. Notice sensations in the front of the torso, the front of the pecs, the front of the shoulders. Notice even the wrists. And then from here, we're going to go ahead and add on a little bit to that. So at the top of your mat, feet hip distance apart. As you inhale, sink the hips down and bring your hands to Anjali Mudra, Namaste hands. Broaden across the collarbone, tuck the tailbone, lengthen the spine. And then you can work on some balance here. Start to bring your weight onto your left foot and maybe come onto the ball mount of your right foot. Maybe start to challenge your balance and draw your right knee in towards your chest. Take 2 more rounds of breath. Keep the torso long. Tuck the tailbone. Lift across the heart. As you exhale, lower the foot to the floor or step the foot back 3 to 4 feet for a crescent lunge. If you want to work on balance, you can take the outer edge of the right foot to the floor. But in either case, we're going to open up across the front of the body so you have some really nice goalpost arms. So relax the shoulders down, elbows at 90 degrees. And imagine drawing your heart through your hands. But tuck the tailbone slightly, draw the rib cage in, and lengthen up through the crown of your head. Take a breath. Squeeze the elbows back towards one another as if a magnet was drawing them behind your back. Take your hands back to your heart. Start to bring your weight onto your front foot. Step your right foot back to meet your left. Stand tall. Relax the shoulders down and in towards the midline. Lift the heart. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, sink the hips. Come to chair pose. Again, weight comes onto the right foot. Hang out on the ball mount of the left foot. Stay here. Or start to bring your left knee in towards your chest, working on a little bit of balance. Right knee stays bent the whole time, but lift across the front side of the body. Taking another round of breath. And then allowing that left foot to drop down to the floor first, stepping it back for a crescent lunge pose, or drop the outer edge of the back foot to the floor for balance. But turn both hips towards the front of your mat, bend your front knee, and this time broaden across the heart. Take your goalpost arms. So really opening up that sternal connection of your pecs, squeezing the elbows back and in, drawing across the front of the body, opening it up. Maybe lift the chin lightly, maybe lift your gaze, maybe even find a little smile here. As you test your balance, another breath in and out. Start to bring your hands back to your heart, weight onto your right foot, step back, Tadasana, hands at the heart. Notice where you feel energy, where do you feel strain. And the second round through, use your discernment to go with the needs of your body, whether that's engaging more or backing off. We'll go through with one breath at a time, maybe working on a little bit more balance. Take a breath in. As you exhale, sink your hips down, coming to chair pose. Weight on the left foot, bend the right knee, stay on the ball of the right foot, or lift the right leg. Take an inhale here. As you exhale, step the foot back to the floor. It was lifted, or just step back to a high crescent lunge, maybe outer edge of the foot to the floor. Take your goalpost arms, lift the heart, tuck the tailbone as though you were drawing the ribs in towards your spine instead of overarching the low back. Want to protect the low back if we can. Keep bending the front knee, hips face the front of your mat. Exhale, hands to the heart, start to bring weight to your left foot. Come back to stand. A deep breath in. Right into the second side, exhale, sink the hips down, weight on your right foot, ball mount to the left foot, or lift the left foot. Again, an inhale here. As you exhale, step the left foot back, crescent lunge. Broaden across the front side of the body, squeeze the elbows back, and imagine lifting the heart up and through. But keep the shoulders away from the ears as you take one more round of breath. On your next exhale, take your hands to your heart. Weight on the front foot, step forward, back to Tadasana, and pause, hands by your side. Checking in, how do you feel? Notice the weight at the bottom of your feet, pressing the floor away as you tuck the tailbone and lengthen your spine up. Even reach up through the crown of the head. And then from here, open your eyes, and let's go ahead and make your way onto your belly. So you won't need any props for this one. We're going to go ahead and lie back down. Actually, if you want to place your forehead on a blanket, you can. Or take the tops of the feet to the floor and take your arms out at goalposts, just like we did a moment ago. Now from here, as your head and neck are relaxed, see if you can allow the hips to soften to the floor so you can press the tops of your feet lightly into the ground. So you can feel the hips maybe get a little heavier, the kneecaps engaged, the quadriceps engaged. And then here, imagine squeezing the shoulders back and in so the elbows and the forearms might lift off the floor even though your head and neck is relaxed. And then we'll take a variation of cobra. So as you inhale, begin to curl your chest up away from the floor, pressing the tops of your feet to the ground. As you exhale, lower back down. So moving with your breath, inhaling, come up, exhale, lower back down. 2 more times, inhale to lift, squeeze the shoulders back, shoulder blades back and together, exhale, lower down, inhaling, coming back up. As you exhale, release your hands to the floor, pause, turn your head to one side, or stack your hands and let your forehead rest on your hands. Maybe you can wiggle your hips a little side to side if you need to massage out your low back. Again, noticing sensations in the back side of the body. And then from here, go ahead and roll over onto your back. Take the soles of the feet to the floor for bridge pose. Pausing here, now that the back side of the body is in contact with your floor again, can you allow the shoulder blades to touch the ground, the backs of your arms to touch the floor, and your palms to reach up or to face up? And then we'll move a little bit with the breath to open the front side of the body. So feet hip distance apart, soles of the feet on the ground. Imagine hugging your heels back towards your hips without moving your feet off of your mat. And then when you're ready, start to press the floor away and imagine lifting your hips about 1 inch or 2 off the floor. Imagine hugging your heels in towards your hips as though you're going to wrinkle up your sticky mat, and then move your knees more towards the front of the room. It's probably going to lift your hips a little bit. And then use your inhale to start to lift your hips a little bit higher. Maybe bring your hips in line with your knees and your shoulders. As you exhale, lower back down 1 vertebra at a time. So we're not going to hold this right away. Using your inhale, start to lift your hips away from the floor. As you come to the peak of your inspiration, pause. As you exhale, lower back down. 1 vertebra at a time, coming all the way back down. If you want to add your arms, use your inhale. Sweep your arms up towards the ceiling and back up overhead as your hips come up. And then slowly reaching the arms back up and lowering the hands down by your hips as your hips touch the floor. So arms are totally optional. Resting on the upper back as you come up. Exhaling, trying to find some harmony in your movements. As your arms and hips lift, maybe they come all the way up at the same time. Exhaling, lowering back down. The next time we come up, we'll pause at the top and we'll hold for about 3 rounds of breath. So if your arms are up overhead, allow them to rest down to the floor as you press your knees away from your hips and draw your hips back toward your heels back towards your hips. And then if you have your arms down by your side, maybe you roll them the shoulder blades underneath you and reach the hands towards one another, maybe find a clasp. But your choice, whether your arms are up overhead on the floor or they're underneath your body. Soften the glutes, soften around the sacrum. Find that evenness of breath you started with. And then unwind the shoulder blades lightly. As you exhale, lower the hips back to the floor. Lowering the arms back to the floor if they were up overhead. Pausing, take your feet to the edges of your mat. Drop your knees in towards one another. Again, just notice the rhythm of your breath. If there's any clenching of the jaw, allow the front of the shoulders to drop towards your mat. And then bring your feet hip distance apart one more time. Go ahead and hug your right knee in towards your chest. Again, you can make a few ankle circles with the right ankle. And we're going to take some Apanasana. So you have the option of keeping the left knee bent or extending the legs straight along the floor. But as you inhale, allow the right knee to come away from your body, whether you hold on or let go. As you exhale, draw the knee in towards your chest. So it could be small movements, inhaling, moving the knee away from the body. Exhaling, drawing in. Just starting to, again, massage out the low back. Maybe letting it go, maybe drawing it in a little further every time, but just starting to massage out the spine. And then maybe take a couple circles with the knee in the air. And then make sure you switch directions of that circle. And then coming back to center, allow the right foot to come to the floor. Shift your hips 2 inches to the right. And then take that right knee across your body to the left, taking a gentle spinal twist. And this is where your block or your blanket comes in handy. You can go ahead and stack that blanket underneath your knee. Allow the right arm to rest out at shoulder height, allowing the right shoulder blade to drop towards the floor. You can have your left arm out to the side, or you can go ahead and take the left hand to the right knee and just imagine the right hip moving away from your right side rib cage, so you're really lengthening as you breathe. And this time, instead of forcing the breath, can you just observe it again without changing it? Notice the natural rhythm after the movements in your practice. Notice the beat of your heart. Can you even soften your toes? Can you let the left hip drop heavier down towards your mat? And can you feel the backs of your shoulder blades sinking towards the floor? And then on your next inhale, take as deep a breath as you can and fill up. Pause lightly at the top. Let that breath feed your body. And then exhale it out. Come back to center. Pause for a moment with the knees bent, soles of the feet on the floor. When you're ready, take your left knee in towards your chest. Again, making some ankle circles first. Right knee can stay bent or right leg can go straight. Starting first with some Apanasana. So go ahead and allow your exhale to draw the left knee in a little closer. As you inhale, press the left knee away from you. You can still hold on or you can let go. Exhale, draw the knee in. Inhale, allow it to draw away from your torso. Couple more times, moving with your breath. The next time you draw it in, go ahead and maybe make some circles with your knee in the air. Keeping the right hip glued to the floor as the left hip has a little bit more mobility. Go ahead and make sure you switch directions. And then again, right leg can stay bent or it can extend long along the floor. But go ahead and lift and shift your hips 2 inches to the left. As the left knee draws in towards your chest, maybe roll over onto your right side. Starting to take a gentle spinal twist. Holding on to your left knee perhaps with your right hand. And allowing the left arm to drop out at shoulder height. Again, let go of your breath. Imagine your right hip getting heavier and the back of your head getting heavier. You can find the space between your fingers, a softness behind your eyes. Maybe you can close the eyes if they're not already. Allow the lower jaw to lightly unhinge so the mouth can be soft. And then on your next inhale, fill up the breath as much as you can and hold the breath at the top and soften your body down to the floor. Exhale, let the breath go. Again, coming onto your back, hugging your knees in towards your chest, rocking a little side to side. Maybe front to back, maybe bending the knees towards the shoulders, maybe reaching for the soles of the feet in happy baby pose, maybe again rocking a little more side to side there. See what feels good. And then go ahead and rock over to one side and press yourself up to a seat one more time. So, as always, lots of options. So you can lie flat on your back for Shavasana. You can take the arms out to the side, or maybe even find some goalpost arms or something in between. So if this feels really easy, but this feels too challenging, maybe just bend the elbows lightly. If this is too challenging, by all means, find a lower position for the arms by the hips, but see if you can move away from the body a foot or two to really create some space for the ribs to expand with a breath. With every breath. If you want to go a little further, we have your blanket or your roll. If you've unrolled it, we're going to re-roll it back up. This time we'll take a roll that's maybe, I don't know, 4 to 6 inches. Maybe 4 to 6 inches. If it's a squishy blanket or towel, you can go a little bit bigger. But this time we're going to rest it horizontally. Parallel with the long edge of your mat, perpendicular to the horizontal edge, the little short edge of your mat. And then we're going to allow that roll to drop right about where your lower ribs are. So instead of taking that roll right by your hips, we're going to create a little bit of space, and we're going to allow the roll to start right at the lower rib cage. And again, it's nice to have the knees bent and allow the knees to drop in if that feels okay. And then the back of your head can rest on the blanket or the roll. If you want an extra pillow or something under your head and neck, that's always an option. And then here, if you can, take your arms out of T position, or maybe even find some cactus arms, that goalpost arm position. I'm definitely into football season right now, so I think goalposts, those big yellow uprights. But see if you can find a position in which to get comfortable. So if you've noticed you've made the roll too big, maybe come off your blanket and re-roll it so it's a little smaller. And then if you're not using a roll at all, that's totally fine. Enjoy a comfortable position with your back flat on the floor. Once you get into a position where you're relatively comfortable, take a deep breath in, fill up with the breath, pause lightly at the top, exhale through the nose or the mouth. So 2 more times, just like that, fill up. Momentary pause at the top, exhaling it out. 3rd time, deep breath in. Pause at the top, but exhale it out slowly, letting the body sink down. Go back to letting the body breathe itself. Noticing sensations between the shoulder blades. Noticing a heaviness behind the shoulder blades as they drop towards the floor. A heaviness of the backs of the arms. But a lightness at the palms of your hands. Notice sensations moving down your spine towards your hips. See if you can feel the skin on your low back broadening as the back of your pelvis drops towards the floor. Whether your legs are straight or bent, notice any sensations moving down the legs, soles of the feet, even the space between the toes. And then connect back to your viveka, your discernment. With a wide open heart, trusting that capacity for your inner knowing to shine through, for you to make those actions, make those choices that are going to support you over the long haul, to make those decisions that will line up with your purpose and feed your spirit, fuel your energy levels, and keep you in balance. Allow your mind to stay connected with that purpose, the thought of discernment, or imagine the sensations moving throughout your body, using them as a point of focus, or even allowing the mind to connect with the natural rhythm of the breath. So as you keep the body still for these next few moments, and the breath effortless, the mind has a place in which it can rest and find ease and clarity. Slowly begin to deepen the rhythm of your breath once again. Send that breath out to some fingers, some movements at your fingers and your toes. If you're on your blanket, slowly roll off of your blanket and remove it, pausing on your back for a few moments, taking your arms down by your side. If you're already there, stay there comfortably. Once again, observing the connection between the back of your heart and the mat. The breath moving out to the sides of the ribs. And the broadening across the front of the chest and the collarbones. Maybe take a stretch like you're waking up. Pausing for a moment, rolling over to one side. Feeling the connection of your mat or the floor beneath you. And then with your eyes lightly closed, make your way back up to a seat. Notice the effects of your heart opening practice in your posture. And then bring the hands lightly together at the heart and notice the heart effortlessly lifting up to the hands. Shoulder blades moving down the back as you lightly bow your gaze. Acknowledging the inner discernment that is with you at all times. Tapping into it as you move throughout the rest of your day and the coming week ahead. Thank yourself for your time and your practice, knowing that the benefits of the body, mind, and spirit received from this practice last long after you leave your mat. So thanks for sharing your time with me today. Namaste.